This is Chico here. And Chico chewed up my USB cord. Look. Did you do that, Chico? Chico's not even 2 years old, so I guess he didn't know what he was doing. Okay, so I have already repaired the cable, and I'm showing you this because I was recording and I thought I was recording with another camera that was a little bit further off so you could see what I was doing, but it was only recording the microscope, and so a lot of the work happened outside of the microscope, and then of course there's nothing to look at, so I omitted that part of the video, so all I got is some fragments, but you'll see what I was doing. So I thought I'd have a little discussion here in order to show what I had to deal with. This cable here, this is like I think it's a 10-foot cable. In any case, it is an extension cable. It has a female type A connector on one end and a male connector for the source on the other end. The little dog chewed up right near here, near the part that plugs into the computer, and I was hoping maybe that there was only 1 or 2 wires that I could reconnect, but there was quite some damage in there, so I had to end up cutting it in half, stripping back the insulation, and given that this is an extension cable, they have gone to quite a lot of effort in order to shield everything and to make it work on a longer cable, because it is a USB 3 cable, as you can see, because of the blue color in there, and USB 3 of course has a much higher throughput rate than what USB 2 has, but it has to be backwards compatible with USB 2, which we'll get to in a minute. So in there was like 10 pieces of wire that were connected, and over here, let's switch cameras. Oh, well, before I do that, I've actually covered this here with 2 pieces of heat shrink tubing, because I do not want this to be flexing and putting stress on the little wires that are soldered together. And also, if anyone ever trips over the cable, I just want it to be strong, so we'll just pull out of the socket rather than coming apart. So what I've had to do is each one of those little wires, I had to solder them together and then take a little piece of, I've got some really thin heat shrink tubing here, put a little piece of heat shrink tubing on there so that they don't get shorted out together. And it was a successful fix, but so you will see what the deal is in these fragments of the things that I did under the microscope. So let's switch cameras here. Okay, so so here you can see this is a the blue one is the USB 3 socket, and there's like 10 different connections that are made there. And what they've actually done is in this cable, because to shield it, there was a shield around the whole cable, like around all 10 of the, or all 9, I guess, if you take the shield off, all 9 of the data and power connections. There was a shield around there, just underneath the main insulation. And these, there are 2 sets of receive and transmit pins that belong together, and this is purple and orange, and purple and orange came in a little rolled up package, if you like. They were together with a wire that was shielded, and then they had some aluminium foil wrapped around them as well, and the same goes for the other two, which were blue and yellow. So there were two wrapped sets of wires, blue and yellow, purple and orange, with shield on it. So what I've had to do is I've actually had to wrap some, I had some very thin alfoil. I don't know where I got it from. It might have been an old candy wrapper or something, but it was very thin, which is what I wanted. If you use kitchen alfoil, it would be thicker, and then I'd have a much bigger bulge in the cable after it would be fixed. It would still work, but you know, so, but I had this, I saved that for this kind of purpose. And so what I've had to do is the red, white, and green is actually from the, as you can see on the left here, from the leftover from the USB 2 days, and that makes it backwards compatible. They did not have any shielding, and so the red and the black, of course, is the plus and minus power. There were thicker wires because they have to be able to carry at least an amp or more. So I just soldered those together, put some heat shrink tubing around it and the little solder joints. Same with the white and the green. So in the blue and yellow and purple and orange, I soldered those together. Also insulated those with, and you will see glimpses of that coming up, with some heat shrink tubing. And then what is not clear is that I then wrapped the blue and yellow and purple and orange wires with some alfoil, and because there was a bare shield wire, the alfoil was able to connect with the little bare wire that was in there that I also soldered together, and then so that the shielding was uninterrupted. And then I wrapped the whole thing in some more aluminium foil, and then I put 2 layers of that heat shrink tubing on there, as you just saw on the outside of the cable, to keep it together. And that's what I did. So in the next section of the video, you'll see glimpses of that happening. And then finally, I plugged in one of my 4K cameras, which has a high throughput, USB 3 connection on it, and to test it out, and everything seems to be working. So I think that was a successful fix. Okay, so that's all I can say right now, and we will look at the rest of the video. All right, so we soldered this wire up. Now we have to go and put some heat shrink around that. I do it. I guess let's do the power wires first. Since they're bigger, they're easier to do. Tiny bit of flux just in case. Make it go quicker. done a bunch of these wires already. Okay. So the trick is to put just enough heat shrink tubing on there and then pull it back a little bit, and put this little jaw on it, and that also cools it down while it actually holds it. And then this one here is also going to go into the other little jaws. I find a little bit of flux on there helps the solder to go into the wires. Make sure it is wet underneath. Wait for it to cool a little bit. Okay, that should do it. Okay, we've got all the wires done. Now we need to separate out these little packages here. The blue and the yellow belong together, and the orange and purple belong together. We're going to wrap some foil around that. Gonna clothing line off. Okay, well, I plugged in the other web camera into that cable I just fixed, and as you can see, there's a picture there. Here's my hand. So I think that was a successful fix. Very fiddly, and I hate doing it, but so that was fixed. All right, I'll see you guys later.